And in this tutorial, we're going to show you how to take a green screen picture, remove the background from it, and then insert a new background, and then, if we have time, blend it a little bit to make it look like the original picture that we took is an actual part of the background of the picture that we've placed in the background. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to open the picture that we want to manipulate. We're going to go to File, and actually File, Open. In File Open, we need to go to the file path where that file is. So here, just going to expand it a little bit, we can see that there's NCTV storage. And under NCTV storage, there's NCTV community. And if you're an NCTV producer, this is where you'll be. If you're an intern, it might be in staff or Paradise City Press. But under NCTV community, that's all of our producers. And under here, I'm just going to go to the place where this file is. I know it's in Umar R, and it is Joe Green Screen. I'm just going to change this look a little bit by pressing this. It's going to be a list now, and expand it a little bit. So we've done a couple of them, and here are a couple of examples. This is Joe looking like an alien, pointing up to the heavens, and Joe in Gotham City. So we're going to move on to our next picture, and I believe it's this one. So Joe looking seductively into the camera. So we can go over here, double click this picture, and it will open that picture in Photoshop. Now, this is a pretty good green screen here, and Umar did a fantastic job at framing too. So what we can do is take our tool over here, and if it's not already shown, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 down, and it's going to be Magic Wand tool. Magic Wand tool is going to look at the pixels surrounding something, and anything that's close to that color, it's going to select them all at once. I'm going to select my Magic Wand tool, and there's a tolerance up here. The higher the tolerance, the more it's going to take pixels of the same color along that spectrum. What I mean by that is if I have it very low and I click somewhere, it's just going to get a couple of little things. But if I have that really high, it's going to surround everything and then some. And you notice that both of these are not the right gauge here for tolerance, because now I'm losing some stuff in the hand over here, and before I only had a selection just right up here. So what I want to do is I can click out of here on the gray to declick, and I'm going to put this at about 30%. Now when I click, notice that I have a lot, it's around the contour of Joe here, but I still have a couple of spots. If you hold shift, you'll notice that a plus sign shows up. And then when you select, it's going to add that to your selection. So I'm just going to add this, add that, add this part over here, and this little guy right here. Little bit in the hair too. Just going to just get a little bit of that stuff. And now we have a nice selection of the background here. What we want to do as well, I should have probably done this first, but if I right click over here, this is our layer, but it's a background layer. So when we go to delete that green, it's not going to be quite what we want. So what we want to do is we want to make a layer from background by right clicking here and going to layer from background. Once I do that, you can name your layer. If you have multiple layers and you're doing something professional, you have to show somebody, you maybe have to pass it off. That's when you can really name layers, but I'm just going to have it stay layer 0. Hit OK. And now we see that over here it's not background anymore, it's layer 0. Still have my selection, but it's layer 0. So I have all that green selected, and all I need to do is press delete. Once I press delete, we have a checkerboard. That checkerboard's not actually there. It's just showing you that anything that the checkerboard is showing is transparency. I also have some green up in the hair, but we'll fix that in a second. So we have Joe here, and has his arms crossed, and now we have to pick a picture. So what we're going to do is go to Firefox and just browse for a picture. What I usually do is search.creativecommons.org, and that's going to bring up Creative Commons pictures that you can use royalty free. You can either do a Flickr search or a Google Images search. And the Google Images or Flickr, they can both be good. I'm going to show you also a little trick to get larger pictures. So actually, Joe has his hands crossed, and he looks like he might be kind of like rapping. So let's do rap stage. Maybe that will come up with something. And so here's some stage pictures from our Creative Commons search. And let's go with, maybe come down a little bit, see if there's anything good. A lot of pictures of people. But just for the tutorial purposes, let's say this is the one that we want to go with. And we'll put Joe right over this guy. So I'm going to view original image. Here's the original image. And I'm going to right click, copy, go back to Photoshop, and then when I'm in Photoshop, Command V to paste. Are you sure you want to convert colors? Yes, I am sure. If this ever pops up, it's just saying that there are different ways that colors can be mapped on a computer, and it's just going to change this to the way that that Photoshop is reading colors right now. Hit OK. And now we have another layer. But our layer is over this layer now. So what we want to do is over here on the right, whatever's on top here will be on top in our actual canvas. So if we left click and drag this down, now that's behind us. So we have our layer in the back, but it's still not to scale. If we have that selected, what we can do is Command T. That will allow us to reposition and also scale. So I'm going to bring this into the corner. And I'm going to take from here, from the bottom corner, and drag down. If I hold Shift and drag down, it will do it in uniformity. So I'm just going to keep on going. And nice and uniform, let go. And when you're happy with your corrections, you can just hit Enter, and that will save it. Oh, I'm just going to Command T again, just to bring that picture up a little bit and over. And just rescale it just a tad. That looks pretty good. So Enter will save your changes. But now we want to have Joe cover the other guy. So we're going to select his layer. Same thing, Command T. Now we have Joe's layer. And bring Joe up a little bit. Make him a little larger. Hit Enter. And now he's almost completely covering the guy. Probably could do a little bit better job, but we're not going to worry about it. We also have some more of this green in the hair here as well. So we have that layer selected. What we can do is go to Image, Adjustments, And what I usually do is replace color. Now we can select a color to replace. So if you go off the screen, you can see that you have a little eyedropper and it's trying to Joe's telling me that he wants some blonde hair. You can see the eyedropper that will take any color that you kind of go over. So if I come over here and go for Joe's brown hair here, as an example, what I can do is I have that selected, but the fuzziness, if I bring this up, you can see what is actually being selected here. And what I want to do is just have that hair selected, really. So I have that. This is showing us what we have selected, and now I can change that color. We could change the saturation of it too. And we can also change the lightness of it as well. Now we're getting a little crazy here. But you can play around with these. What we're going to do here, we're just going to hit cancel and come back here. Image, adjustments, replace color. I'm just going to select that kind of unnatural green up here in the top. And once I have that selected, I like to bring down that saturation. And bring up my fuzziness. And now we can see that that green that we had in his hair has gone down pretty considerably. We could bring down the too much. Anything that you can always overdo things. But we brought our saturation down. Now we've lost some of that green in his hair. We can hit OK, and now looks pretty good. You can fool around with other things too, not just putting them in here, but putting props in. So let's go to Firefox, go back. We're still at, go back to our Creative Commons search, and type in sun glasses. And let's scroll down. See if we can find any good shades that are kind of pointing at the camera. Let's take these guys. View that original image. Copy image. Go back to Photoshop. Paste. Then we can hit OK. I'm just going to say don't show again. And we have our glasses. Uh-oh, we have some white around that. What do? Same thing that we did with the green. Go back to our magic wand tool. Select. And then Shift will add to a selection. Select again. And delete. Then you can click off. And Command T again to resize, just like we did with the background. And drag those up. Bring those glasses over. And probably not the best set of glasses, but we can twist them if you're in the corner and you see this kind of arrow tool here. Twist them around. Once we have them in place, hit save. And if we wanted, we could put a hat on him. We could make everything black and white. We could try to make everything a little bit more uniform, but there we go. Now Joe is inside rapping like the MC that he is, and that's the little tutorial on how to take out the green screen and put in a new background. And there we go.